Hello everyone! I just received this new electric I-cord knitting machine from Caydo, and I'm so excited to show you what it comes with and how to use it. Comes with a little manual, and you can scan this QR code to watch their own video tutorials as well. It comes with two weights, a crochet hook, some yarn that you can practice with, and here's the machine. A little switch here that you can turn manually, this little handle here, and these tools that I'll show you how to use in a second. All right. I'm going to bring this little thing out and then screw this part onto the bottom. I'm going to slide this in with this little piece right behind it, and I'm just going to leave it down here for now. I'm not going to go all the way to the top just yet. I'm going to place this on the edge of my table, and I'm going to position the table in this little groove right here. It's kind of like an L shape. Then secure it by turning this little knob all the way up. Alright, to make our I-cord, I'm going to be using this yarn. The brand is Drops Paris. It's a number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. You want the yarn to go through this little hole right here first. So I'm going to thread the yarn through this end of the crochet hook right here. Then I'm going to insert the crochet hook through here and go down the center of the machine. I'm going to leave about 12 inches of yarn hanging down here. Also make sure the yarn is positioned in this little groove right here. And now I'm going to start turning that little switch in the back. I'm not going to attach my weights just yet. Before I turn, I'm going to make sure all the hooks are open. I'm going to turn slowly, and you want the first hook to grab the yarn. Then the second hook, you want to skip the yarn. So I'm going to use my crochet hook to unhook that. And I like to pull on the yarn a little here, just so the yarn's not so loose on the hooks. Keep turning, grab the yarn with the third hook, and skip the fourth. And now from this point on, you want all the hooks to grab the yarn. You can't really see this part here, but I'm lightly pulling on the yarn that's hanging on the bottom here to give it a little tension since I haven't attached my weights yet. I'm going to push that down a bit. You always want your stitches to be sliding down as you rotate. Alright, I'm going to do that one more time from a different angle, just so you can get a better view. So I'm going to start rotating here. I'm going to grab the yarn with the first hook, skip the second, grab the yarn with the third, skip the fourth, and from here on you want all the hooks to grab the yarn. And every time your hook grabs new yarn, you always want the bottom stitch to be underneath this needle here. That's how you're going to prevent this from getting all tangled up. Okay, so I'm going to keep turning now, and I'm just going slow. And remember, I'm also kind of pulling on the bottom yarn that's hanging just to give it a little tension. If it needs a little help, use a crochet hook to push it down. And then I'm just going to do a few turns and stop here. I'm going to attach my weights. I want to place them pretty close together. I'm going to plug this in and then press the power button. Now you don't have to do this, but I like to go slow at first. I like to press it and then stop a couple times just to make sure the hooks and the yarn are doing what they're supposed to. And now I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then always make sure that your yarn is nice and loose. I kind of have this little situation going on here, and sometimes I like to pull the yarn out as it's making the I-cord. Once I have a decent length down here, I like to move my weights up, and I like to go up to this point right here, right below where the little screw ends just so it doesn't get in the way. And there it goes. Once your I-cord is getting long and your weights are getting close to the bottom, you want to bring them back up and then just keep going. But I'm going to stop right here. I'm just going to stop the machine. Cut the yarn right here. Make sure to hold the weights with one hand and then manually turn the switch in the back. And keep going until the I-cord falls through. I'm going to remove the weights, and then if it leaves a little indentation, you can just kind of press the I-cord and it goes away. And here's what the I-cord looks like. Now I'm going to use a different type of yarn just to show you that one more time. And although this yarn is the same weight as the previous brand, it is a little bit fluffier, and sometimes I have to use extra weight on top of the two weights that it comes with. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's a hit or miss. You can add a hair clip. I use this little magnet clip. If you need extra weight or not, it can vary from the different types of yarns that you use, or even the different types of brands. So I'm just inserting the yarn here. I'm going to leave about 12 inches hanging at the bottom here. I'm going to make sure all my hooks are open. And I'm going to start turning the little switch here clockwise. I'm going to grab the yarn with the first hook, skip the second, grab the yarn with the third, skip the fourth, and I'm just going to keep turning without skipping. And I'm adding a little tension by lightly pulling the yarn at the bottom here. I haven't added my weights yet. And I'm just going to push this little stitch down. Remember, you want to make sure that as you rotate the machine that the stitches are sliding down and that they're next to the white little tube in the center here before the hook grabs any yarn. I'm going to attach my weights. I'm going to press the power button one time, then stop it, then a second time, stop it. I'm just trying to make sure that the hooks are doing what they're supposed to. And there you go. Sometimes if I notice that it's getting stuck a little too often, I'll add the extra weight, and that usually does the trick. But in this instance, it did not do that for me, and it's just doing its thing with the two weights that it comes with. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys, if your I-cord ever gets stuck or if it skips a stitch and you want to fix it, you do not have to cut the whole I-cord and then start all over again. What you can do is just stop the machine, remove the weight, or if your I-cord is really long, you can just lower the weight down and place it on the table. I'm just going to turn the little handle backwards. So you want to go counterclockwise so you can remove it from all the hooks here, and then you can kind of just unhook the yarn if it does attach to one of the hooks. Pull the I-cord out. You can kind of see that little messed up stitch right here. And I'm just going to pull on the yarn and start undoing the I-cord one stitch at a time until I have 4 clean stitches, just to get rid of this little messed up stitch here. So I'm going to turn my I-cord like this. Kind of looks like a little cross, like a plus sign. And you always want your hanging string to be on the right side. And now I'm going to insert this back into the hooks the same way that they're positioned. I'm just going to slide that down. I'm going to start with the tallest hook first, so this back one. And then I'm going to do the right side, which has the yarn hanging from it. Then I'm going to do the left side. And I'm using a different crochet hook here. As you can tell, it's just a little easier to use a smaller one. Now I'm going to do this last hook here. This one's a little tricky. Kind of have to pull it and push it in there. So you want to make sure your hanging yarn is coming out of the right stitch, and you want the yarn to be to the right side of this back hook right here. So you don't want it on the side over here, you don't want it underneath this one, you want it right here on the right side of this tall back hook. Here's a top view. Now I'm going to just scoop my weights back up and just press the power button, and you can just continue to make your I-cord where you left off. And that's it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you decide to get this electric I-cord knitting machine, make sure to use my code Lesley40, Lesley. Everybody spells my name wrong, so make sure to spell that right. Lesley40 to get 40% off. And that code only works if you purchase directly from their website. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.